Alright, welcome to the Tiwari show. Today it's going to be super excited. I hope you are ready. We have a fire that is going to be talking with us today about something close from this pandemic season. We're going to be talking to Yash Tiwari. He's a of president of Experience Technology in the sector from 872. Very, very powerful motivator and we this year for the pandemic and what is let me know what you know to do with them. And please share the podcast. We only broadcast good news. We're carriers of good news. We're carriers of empowering people that are doing great things for humanity and for themselves. And we encourage and bring industry experts every once in a while to train on things that could help move your life forward. So that's the whole purpose of this platform. So without much ado, let me bring up our guest. Okay, now I'm echoing back and I don't know why. Hello,
No,
Yash.
no,
How are you?
your voice is very clear. Hello, I'm very good. How are you right now?
Very good. Thank you so much for taking the time today to join us.
It's
Before
truly a pleasure for me. Truly a pleasure.
Awesome. Before I introduce you, guys, this is Yash Tiwari out of India. But before I do that, I want to quickly play one of your videos for at least for our
Sure.
guests to see. And while we're playing that, if you can go ahead and share the broadcast on your page so your friends can, join in, it would be nice.
Definitely. Definitely. I'll do that right away.
What we have thought. The mind is everything. What we think, we become. As a 17-year-old boy who has authored a novel titled A Celebration in Tribulation at the age of 16, and also two research papers for two different international conferences, I have developed the tendency to overthink about the work that I do and the duties that I perform. I mean, in general, I think a little bit more about every topic that I try to dive deep into. So, because of that, people around me, they can be my family, my friends, anyone. In general, they tell me that, Yash, don't overthink. Don't think too much about the work that you are doing, or the topics that you are working upon, because then you will get tensed, you will get distressed. Why? Because in general, we are surrounded by the stereotypes of the society. In general, we presume that overthinking is something very negative. Or if not negative, then at least, for the very least, we consider it to be harmful for human psychology. But what if I tell you that there is more to overthinking than what meets our eye? What if I tell you that this overthinking, this skill of overthinking, can become a pathway to your success, a key to your success? So before diving very deep into the topic of overthinking, let us first try to understand what it actually means. How do we define it in the simplest of words? So overthinking, according to me, is simply a process of allowing a cluster of thoughts, which can be good, which can be bad, or a mixture of both, to come up in your mind, to raise in your mind constantly. And these thoughts are to be bifurcated into the category of good, the bad, the weird ones, the happy ones.
All right. I wanted to play that a little bit so that people can at least see what you do and hear.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then when you
Yeah.
speak, you would connect to that video. That's why I played that.
Surely. That sounds like a great idea.
It was interesting when you were talking about overthinking. People don't think that you can overthink, and it's a good thing to think about it. And also,
Exactly.
when you overthink, it could be a bad thing.
Exactly. See, the thing is that every person overthinks. Even with a person with a very clear mind, we can say, even they do think in a way that they try to overanalyze things around them. So why not start dealing that in a very positive way? That is what I try to, we can say, project in front of people.
That is so beautiful. So let's start this broadcast by you truly introducing who you
Sure.
are, so that people can get to really
Definitely.
know you. Yeah. So go ahead.
All right, sure. So my name is Yash Tiwari, as you all already know, I hope. I'm 18 years old. I am a citizen of India right now, though work takes me places because currently I'm working as an international youth mentor, a young motivational speaker, a public speaker, and I am an awarded author of two internationally acclaimed novels. The first one, which is titled A Celebration in Tribulation, that I had written at the age of 16, just 2 years back in 2018. However, after that, in fact, just recently, I would say last month, I have authored world's first novel based on the coronavirus outbreak that is titled Pandemic 2020. It has been launched by Oxford Bookstore and right now it is available internationally all around the world, which means that I'm very eagerly waiting for you all to read it and also send your valued reviews. Apart from that, I have been awarded with the Author of the Year award by Natex, Top 100 Inspiring Authors of India award by the Indian Abbas, and also the Karmaveer Chakra award and Global Young Reader Fellowship by iCongo in association with United Nations. I have delivered 4 TED Talks and a very acclaimed Josh talk, which has received, I think, somewhere around 2 lakh 60 or 70,000 views. I'm not 100% sure about the numbers right now, I would say. But I very frequently deliver talks, sessions, workshops, and motivational seminars to people from all around the world. However, primarily I try to focus on the youngsters because, according to me, myself being a youngster, I'm able to relate with them the best and also guide them about the right directions in their life.
So how did you come about all of this at a very, very young age? What inspired you?
Yeah, all right. So my journey, I would say, as a writer or as a literature enthusiast, actually started when I was just 6 or 7 years old. Because I remember very vividly that I used to have this online blog where my parents used to upload all the kind of stories and poetries which I used to write even at that young age. But I would say that my passion and my dedication towards the field of public speaking and literature truly got its real wings to fly high when I was 16 years old, just 2 years back. And I had this, we can say, holiday period, this break between the end of my 11th standard and the beginning of my class 12th, the last year of schooling. And during that time period, I started to author my first novel, my debut novel, which is titled A Celebration in Tribulation. And I was able to write the entire novel within just 22 days, which has also been reported on various international as well as national news media platforms. And once that was published, because my debut novel, A Celebration in Tribulation, was not just written by me at the age of 16, it is also world's first novel, first fiction novel, I would say, based on the Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, which is a neurological ailment that still doesn't have a cure in this world. So it received a great deal of appreciation and acclaim from all around the world. And I was invited for my first TEDx talk at TEDx HPTU in India. And that is where my journey as a youth mentor and a public speaker truly started. Because since then, since last year, I would say, I have been constantly, if not regularly, delivering these very, we can say, impacting talks, sessions, and workshops to people all around the world. Primarily, I try to deal with the topics which are related to self analysis, introspection, and expression of your strengths, and you can say curbing of your weaknesses. But I would say that I'm very much open to creative topics too, because that is one topic which I also teach and mentor others about: how to create stories, how to build up narratives, and how to even write your own novel. So, to be very honest, my journey as a professional public speaker and a writer started when I was 16 years old, 2 years back.
Amazing. How does it feel to be introduced as an awarded author of an internationally acclaimed novel, as a renowned speaker and a youth mentor at this very, very tender age?
All right. So I have been, this is a very important, I would say, question for each and every listener out here. So thank you so much for asking this. A lot many people have asked me a lot many times that don't I feel proud about these achievements, these things which I'm doing even at this young age? Because to be very honest, it is a true fact that people can spend their entire lives and still not get a single book published if they are not well dedicated towards it. So people do ask me that how do I feel to have two novels published, or let alone four TED talks delivered at this very young age of 18. For me, however, the answer is that I never try to feel proud about it or brag about it. Because at the end of the day, if I have done all this and if I have achieved all this, it is simply a reminder in my life that I have to do more. I have to use my voice, I have to use my potential, and I have to use my capacity for creating even a greater impact in this world for the betterment of the society and the world that we are a part of. So for me, having all these titles and acclaims attached to my name right now is simply a reminder that I need to do more, no matter how young I might be.
Wow. So for other young people out there that are sitting on the edge, not knowing what to do, your words for them is go get it done, because there's so much work out there.
Exactly, exactly. There is always some work. Like I remember that in each of my session, a lot many students of mine name these very acclaimed authors or public speakers regarding how they take a great deal of inspiration from them. And I always tell them that even for the most acclaimed author out there or the most acclaimed person, no matter what field they are in, there is still some room for improvement. Each and every person can improve upon their own self in some way or the other, for sure. That is what I always preach.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. So let's talk a little bit about your book, Pandemic 2020. You
Sure.
did something about the reef.
Very excited to talk about it.
Yeah, I want you to talk about the reef of the virus itself. Like, what did you gather?
Yeah.
Just talk to us about it, because a lot of people are super
All
confused
right.
about this pandemic.
Yeah. Totally agreed. Totally agreed. So, firstly, if you would allow me, I would like to give everyone a sneak peek of my book itself, which I have with me right now as we speak. So, I don't know if it is coming on the frame or not properly, but are you able to see it?
Yeah.
Is the book visible?
That's huge.
Yeah. So as you can see that this is Pandemic 2020, which is also world's first novel written on the coronavirus outbreak that is available internationally on Amazon. So you can get a copy right away, I would say. But apart from the marketing words, I would like to speak a little bit about the story as well that it presents. So in the cover only, you can see that there is not just one story, but four stories being presented. One is of Alana, who is a medical worker all the way in US. Then we have Hui King, who is an impoverished boy all the way in China. Then we have Yash Sharma, who is an ambitious journalist all the way in India. And then we have Terrell all the way in Italy, who is a stranded traveler. And these are the stories, the major plot lines, I would say, that are happening all around the world during this pandemic. We have the medical workers who are feeling helpless. We have the impoverished poor people who do not have any way to survive. We have those media people who are trying to utilize this topic in the best way possible, while also trying to, we can say, enthuse and inform the people to the best of their capability and capacity. And then we also have those people who are stranded in other countries because of the international lockdowns, the very infamous international lockdowns. And these are the four storylines which I have presented through my novel Pandemic 2020. And another very notable fact about it is the fact that you do not come across just one particular country or one we can say storyline in specific. We have four countries, as I said: China, America, Italy, and India. And these are perhaps the most major hubs of this virus that we have at the moment. So it is something which I believe each and every person will be able to connect with and relate with very well, because I have written this entire novel based exactly on the facts and the figures and the news that have happened in the real world. So whatever you get to read in it, that is something which has also happened in the real world, I would say.
How did you get facts? How did you know about the facts?
It required a great deal of research. I have to tell you that when I started the process of writing Pandemic 2020, I think it was the beginning of April, and I was able to end the entire writing process by the end of April. So that is another notable fact, that I was able to complete writing the entire novel within just 1 month. But during that 1 month, I can assure you that the amount of research which I have done from news sources, from information sources, and even from real people from all around the world, that has been something which I never even imagined about. That has been the amount of effort which I had never ever put in any of my past project. Because each and every fact that I have inculcated in my novel Pandemic 2020, even the numbers that you get to read, they are from the real world. So let us say that there is this incident of 5th of April that you read about in my book Pandemic 2020 from the Indian storyline. You will also be able to see the exact same incident happening in the real world when you research a little bit about it. So everything is very well connected, and that, my friends, is the reason why I believe that each and every person will be able to relate with it, because you will be able to see yourself in the story in some way or the other for sure. However, it is based from the perspective of fictional characters, but the story is not fictional. The story is entirely real. That is what you need to remember when you get a copy of Pandemic 2020.
Thank you so much. So I am going to ask you this question. Thank you, lovely Nini Amalis, my daughter. I love you so, so very much. She's a supermodel, and she takes very, very busy job, but she takes all the time to come sit here with us and watch the show. Thank you, Nini. That's her.
That is so great.
Gorgeous.
Thank you so much, Nini.
Yeah. So thank you, Nini, for joining us, and many other people that are there. Amol, Tiwari, thank you so much. We have so many people. Preven, Dipti, thank you guys so much for joining us. I love your shoe on your stuff, Anushka. And so you guys do us a favor. Please share the broadcast on your pages so that you can get more people to come. If we support our young people like Tiwari, like Yash, you are not just putting money in his pocket. You are becoming a vehicle that he can use to reach other young people outside India and around the world. So let us not look at this as if we are promoting just Yash and the book that he's written. No, it's beyond that. We want to be able to support young people, because truly the future is in the hand of you guys that are young. So if we don't support,
the future is youth. The future is youth.
That's right. The future is youth. So, but to really make it a reality, we have to join our hands together to promote and support what you guys are doing. I'm doing my part by creating this platform to bring a lot of youth out here to talk about your achievement and the great work that you're doing as a youth. But that's how far I can go. But if every other person join hands with me, we support to purchase your book, we support by broadcasting, we support by sharing the broadcast. So if you cannot broadcast yourself, share the one that we're doing so we can reach more people. And by the grace of God, we'll be able to support Yash and his book. Okay, so Yash.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot.
You're very welcome. You're doing an amazing job, and the least we can do is at least support you. One of the questions that came to mind when I was reading through your profile is, what made you opt into the fictional part of this whole writing thing? Most people write just a book, but you went into the fictional route. Why?
Yeah. So I will tell you very honestly, Pandemic 2020 is not a fiction book. It is not at all a fiction story that you will get to read when you read it, because the truth is that, as I said earlier, the story entirely is real. The facts, the figures, the plot lines, they are as real as they can be, and they have been picked up from the world. Like, whenever something was happening in the month of April, I was writing it down as it was happening in the real world and as the news were unfolding. It is just the characters that are fictional, because I could not use real names, of course. So only the perspectives that we have used, they are fictional, but the storylines, they are not fiction at all. They are as real, they are as relatable and connection worthy as they possibly can be.
Wow. So, what is the focus of the four stories that you had in the book? What is it
Yes.
focused on? Not to give away everything, so
All
people
right.
buy it, but
No, no, of course not. Of course not. I will not spoil anything. I will not spoil anything. I will just create a sense of intrigue in the mind of all our viewers and also you. So, the four storylines that we have, the major four storylines in this book, are based in four countries, as I said: China, Italy, America, and India. These are the four storylines that we get to read the perspectives of, and people are based over these four places that we get to read about. The four characters that we have are of Alana, a helpless doctor all the way in US; Huiking, an impoverished boy all the way in China; Terrell, who is a stranded traveler all the way in Italy; and Yash Sharma, an ambitious journalist all the way in India. And please do not think that Yash's story is related to my story in any way. I have just used his name for the sake of it, because writing about India felt very homely to me, so I just wanted to use the name of the people that I know around me. But these are the four major storylines that we get to read about. However, I can assure you that these are not the only storylines that we get to read about. There is also a theme of racism. There is also a theme of, we can say, domestic violence. There is also a theme of poverty that is narrated about through this novel of mine. Because trust me, this pandemic has made us all realize that a global phenomenon as big as a coronavirus outbreak is not just about a flu. It affects the way in which we are living. It affects the way in which we are acting in this world. It has brought about new colors to our personality that we were not even aware about earlier. So we can say that all in all, it is a creative account of what all has went down in the real world in the past few months, since January, I would say.
why did you choose the four countries? Why not Africa? Why not Canada? Why not the Caribbean? Why did you focus on those four countries?
Yes, yes. So, see, the only reason why I focused on these four countries is because, I will tell you very honestly, there is no real reason. The reason is that when you get to read about the four storylines, you will not be seeing Terrell only in Italy, or Yash only in India, or Alana only in US. You will be able to see Alana as a medical worker in general, and not just a medical worker in US. Or Huiking as an impoverished boy, a person who is representing the privations of the poor people during this pandemic, and not just the poverty all the way in China. So trust me, using these countries was just for the sake of it, and just to represent the culture, and I can say the diversity that all of us have seen during this pandemic. However, apart from that, the storylines that are narrated, they are standardized in such a way that each and every person all around the world will be able to relate with them. Because trust me, the medical atrocities that our medical workers are facing over here in India, they are also being faced all the way in China. They are also being faced all the way in US. So these privations are common for all the countries. It is just the names that I have taken up, the cultural backgrounds that I have taken up to just base the story upon, to create a foundation. That is all.
That's beautiful. Your first book that you wrote had a very, very huge success, international acclaimed and internationally acclaimed and everything. Why did you choose that particular story about Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease?
So once again, just like Pandemic 2020, when I was writing it, I felt that the topic was very intriguing. So just like that, when I was writing about a celebration and tribulation as well, in fact, when I was just conceptualizing about it, there was this one ailment, this neurological ailment called the CJD disease or the Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease that I came across when I was searching the internet. And I also came across the fact that no fiction novel has ever been authored on that particular ailment. That was the reason which kind of compelled me to create a conversation about it with the form of my words, with the form of the voice that I have. So it was simply that I was using my voice and my words to create awareness and start a conversation about this particular ailment. And it is not a medical journal in any way. It is a real story based on real human emotions, which every person will be able to connect with no matter whether they have faced this disease or not. But yes, that was the primary reason why I wanted to author a book on the CJD disease.
So at 16 years old, let's go back a little bit. At 16 years old, you're supposed to be preparing to graduate from high school. Who inspired you to start writing? Did you feel like you have so much inside of you that you can't get out except you want to put it
like like the storehouse was filling up, so I had to clean it out.
So yeah, what inspired you? Your family members, your dad, your mom, are they writers? Did you grow up in the midst of
To be very honest, perhaps each and every person in my family is in some way or the other a writer. Like my maternal grandfather, my Nana ji, is a very acclaimed author himself. He has authored a lot many novels in Hindi in particular, which are much acclaimed and much awarded over here in India. My Dada ji, my grandfather on the paternal side, he used to be a renowned academician. He himself has authored a lot many books, but in the academic background. So you can see that the genetics to write and to use words in some way or the other has been there in my life since as long as I can remember. But more so, it is about the fact, as I stated earlier, that I have been always very much, we can say, compelled towards the fact that I need to use my voice and my words for creating an impact on this world, for creating a social change in this world. In fact, that is one of the reasons why I always pick up those topics which are related to the society, which are related to the world in some way or the other. That is the reason why I pick up topics about human feelings more than anything, because that is what the human society is based upon. And I think that is what has always compelled me to use my voice in the way that I'm using it, whether it is about, let's say, writing books, or it is about giving international talks or workshops or webinars or sessions. So I think that is the primary motivation behind the kind of work that I'm doing right now.
So thank you for that. One of the interesting questions that I wanted to ask you when I was reading through your profile is, you wrote this whole huge book and this information in 22 days. Were you sleeping? Were you eating? Were you leaving your room?
So I remember that only recently, I think a month or so ago, I was delivering this interview for a very reputed newspaper, and they asked the same question, that how are you able to complete both of these novels respectively within 1 month each? And my so yeah, that is the thing with me, that when I get into something, I just get into it. Like, you know, a lot many people binge watch series, a lot many people binge watch movies. I binge write. I binge work in some way or the other. I get so much invested into the I get so much invested into the kind of work that I'm doing, that beyond that, I simply forget about the world around me. Like when I was writing this book, Pandemic 2020, I was able to finish it within just April month. So you can understand that writing a book which is more than 300 pages, I think 320 something, within 1 month, that even I can say that it is a big feat. But at the same time, for me, it was simply something that I was very much invested into, which I was very much dedicated about. And I think it is only what you see that the book has been written within 22 days or 1 month, whether we talk about Pandemic 2020 or A Celebration in Tribulation. It is only the result of the sheer dedication and I can say we can say passion that I have within my own self toward whatever project I pick up. That is how I am able to complete all these projects within such brief period of times.
So your advice, again, our platform is to help other people achieve their goals by bringing great
Definitely.
informations to them. So your advice today for anyone that is writing a book out there, whether young or old, you should just be dedicated and have a passion to what
Be
you're.
completely dedicated. Be completely dedicated, I would say.
Amazing. Amazing. Wow. So is it true that this book that was completed in 22 days, I mean, from writing from the beginning to publishing it was 22 days. So
No,
how,
it was the writing part because, of course, the publishing part can take a little bit longer. That is on them. However, the writing of the entire manuscript, which has been more than 300 pages, and conceptualization and everything, that took this brief period of time.
so when you finish the book and publish it, how do you fight against all the blocks and, all the other books out there? How do you drive it to success like your first book?
See, I'm 18 years old. You can understand that writing and getting book published at the age of 18, and that too about such a crucial topic, and this being world's first novel on coronavirus, is something that is, which is not very easy, I would say. Even for myself, I am constantly thinking of how to get it on a global platform, how to reach out to people even like you, where you support me in a way that it is being heard about all around the world. So it is always something that I have to constantly work towards. But this is one question which has been asked by a lot many people out there, not just youngsters, I would say, that how do you truly market a book? How do you truly promote a book? The only answer to this question is that it is not an overnight process. You cannot think that you only work for one day and the marketing will be done, or the promotion will be done, or even the book writing part will be done. That is not true, and that is not practically possible. You have to work day and night. You have to dedicate yourself towards the project that you're working on. Whether it is about writing a book, or delivering a talk, or creating a dance video, or creating a music video, or anything at all, whatever you are passionate about, whether you simply want to create a video of you playing a guitar, that is also fine. But it requires sheer amount of dedication and complete passion towards it, that you are going to eat that video, you are going to sleep that video, you are going to breathe that video 24/7. Whatever you talk about should be related to it. Whatever you do should be in some way or the other connected to your endeavor. Then only you will be able to get it out in the world as widely as possible. That is what I live by, and that is what I would live by in future as well.
I was going to ask you, what should we be expecting from you in the near future? You just give that away. So let me ask you.
A lot many novels. A lot many novels.
I'll ask you another question then. I'm an actress and I do movies. So would you be open
Yes.
to maybe a TV station approaches you and say they want to turn this to a movie, or I approach you and say, hey, Yash, let's turn this book into a movie. Are you open to that?
I will be more than happy to, because see, one thing I can tell you very honestly, and I know a lot many people are not going to believe this, but I am not a very avid reader. I do not read much. I simply focus more on writing as compared to how much I read. So people ask me that how am I able to write in such a way that they are able to visualize whatever they are reading in my novels. The only reason is that whenever I'm writing my books or whenever I'm writing a story, I try to visualize it myself. I try to see whether I am able to not just conceptualize but see the characters building up and growing in my own mind when I write about them. So definitely to see these characters actually visually on a screen, on a big screen, and my stories unfolding on the television screen, that would be, I believe, the greatest honor of my life.
Wow. So before I let you, because you're a motivational speaker, and I want you to motivate our audience today. But before that, I watched one of your videos where you said, and I'm quoting exactly what you said. You said, yeah, there's a statement you said that we stood there at the face of this pandemic, not what was, but what can be. What do you mean by that statement?
Yes. So this is spoiler alerts for those who haven't read Pandemic 2020 as of yet. This is one of the statements stated by Yash Sharma, who is one of the four major characters in my storyline. I think on the very last chapter of the book itself. The reason why we have this very vague statement over here, that we stood there not just looking at what was, but also at what can be. It states that Yash Sharma is in a psychological state where he is not simply demotivated by the atrocities or the privations of this pandemic, or just focusing on what all this pandemic has taken from us, just the losses of this pandemic. He is looking at a hopeful future. He is looking at that bright end to this dark tunnel that all of us are caught up in, that there is a bright end towards it. There is a bright end if you just keep on walking. There is always going to be a brighter door waiting for you if you just keep your passion alive and if you just keep your hopes up and keep walking. That is what the statement refers to. That Yash Sharma is not just looking at the losses of past, but he is looking at the hopeful future that is right in front of us if we work for it and if we stand united. Because one of the major lessons, I can say, one of the major message which I have tried to deliver through Pandemic 2020, my novel, is that all of us globally need to stand together. Whether it is about you in Canada or me in India or all of our viewers in, let's say, Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, or anywhere all around the world, all of us need to stand together, not outside our houses. We need to be socially distanced, but still, psychologically, we need to be there for one another and support one another. That is what one thing this pandemic has surely taught us about.
Amazing. You inspire me already, like with your energy, your positive vibes, your energy. I can feel it. I can feel your energy, and that's an energy to become super successful.
Thank you so much.
Keep up the
that really means a lot.
Yeah, keep up the good work. And I'm gonna ask you before I let you go, before you give us your motivational speech for the last session, what is your advice for other writers? Because a lot of people want to write, they don't know how or when or where to start from. So what advice do you have for anybody that wants to become a writer or the people that are already writing?
The only single advice which I would like to give to each and every person who is getting to watch us right now is that you can even write a book on the conversation that we are having. Trust me, it is as simple as that. If you are a true writer, like seriously, if you are a true writer, you have to be a true observer. You have to observe the world around you, and even the most ordinary topic happening around you can turn out to be the most extraordinary novel that has ever been written in the world, whatsoever you say. Like, talk about pandemic only. A lot many people were feeling down and sad because of all the news that were unfolding every day during this pandemic, during this coronavirus outbreak, and they were feeling very much saddened by it. However, I decided to channelize all that sadness, the observations which I had made all around the world, in the form of a novel. I decided to use these ordinary topics happening all around the world to turn them into an extraordinary novel, an extraordinary topic for the novel which I wanted to write. So just like that, it is same for each and every person out there as well, not just the writers or the public speakers or just those people who have already written something. Even those who aspire to write and speak, you just have to observe the world around you, because there are topics waiting right in front of your eyes to be looked upon, to be discussed about, to be illuminated. It is just that you need to focus on them. It is just that you need to analyze the world around you, and only then you will be able to see the depths of the world within your own self.
Wow. Okay. I think you left me speechless today. So this is Yash Tiwari, a young author. Believe it or not, you're now 18.
18 years old.
You're 18 years old. You don't speak like 18 years old. You're speaking like a person with so much wisdom of 80 years old. So congratulations. You're super, super intelligent. And one thing I must tell you is your energy just goes through this broadcast right there. I can feel your positive energy. Keep it up, because it's going to take you very, very far. Okay, we're going to be having the Vigo Awards International this year virtually. Vigo Awards Unsung Heroes International is a platform that I created to celebrate the everyday ordinary people that are doing extraordinary things for others without asking for anything in return. At the same time, we celebrate young achievers, people that are doing stuff for themselves to become good citizens of this world. Okay, and we also celebrate people, the voiceless, so we become the voice for the voiceless. So it's a platform that I created with my team. We've been doing this, celebrating heroes around the world for 6 years. This is our 7th year. And
Wow.
I want you to get someone to nominate yourself on the achievements category.
Surely. I
Yeah.
will definitely do that. And thank you so much. It is truly an honor.
No problem. So nominate, you never know. You might be a winner. I don't know. I don't make the decision. So guys, the website is www.vigorawards.org. That's VIGORAWARDS.org. So go ahead and nominate. Nomination is open from now, I think, till August ending. The nomination will close, but the faster the nominations come in, the easier it is for us to put things together. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on the show. A link is going to be created very soon on our page on Facebook and the website that people can purchase the tickets to attend the event. It's going to be just a little token to help support, the awardees. So make sure you guys are all out there clicking likes on our Instagram page and follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get updated information as we move closer to the date of the event. The event will be October 4th, 2020. So it's a Sunday evening. Dressed up and get ready. We're going to celebrate all the heroes. So the link of your book will be placed also right under the broadcast. But before I let you go, Mr. Yash, what is your motivational speech for us today? So I'm going to let you take that away.
All right, sure. So, first of all, thank you so much for giving me this platform to motivate all of our viewers over here in some way or the other. I only want to pick up one topic for all of you today. This one thing that I believe each and every person will be able to connect with and relate with. It is about our strengths and our weaknesses. All of us know that we have a certain amount of strengths within us, we have a certain amount of weaknesses within us, and all of us have this preconceived notion and preconceived social definition, I would say, about these strengths and weaknesses as well. We kind of define our strengths to be the strong points in our personality and the weaknesses to be the weak points in our personality. We say that whatever we are great at doing, whatever we are good at doing, whether it is public speaking or dancing or music or whatever it might be, that becomes a strength for us. And whatever we are very weak at doing or we are not good at doing, that becomes a weakness for us. But what if I tell you that to our life, there is much more than simply what we know as the strengths in our life or the weaknesses in our life? What if I tell you that there is yet another definition, an unheard definition to your own strengths and weaknesses? That will help you in transforming your own life. That is the truth, my friends. A lot many people regularly ask me that how was I able to transform my own life, or how can they transform their life if they wish to? Trust me, the only answer lies within your own self. The only answer lies within the analysis of these unheard and unspoken definitions of your strengths and weaknesses. So, firstly, we will talk a little bit about the latent strengths within us, and then we will move on to the weaknesses. If you truly wish to transform yourself, if you truly wish to make yourself better than how you already are right now, you have to look into your own depths. You have to see the latent strengths within your own self. And my friends, trust me, your strengths are not just the strongest points within you, they are also the capacities and capabilities within you. If you feel that on a scale of strength, let's say from 1 to 10, you are at on 9 or 10 when it comes to art. You are very good at drawing, you are very good at sketching, and you stand somewhere on 9 on the scale of strength, right? But then again, you also have this passion, or we can say a little bit of inclination towards something like cooking or something like gardening, and you stand on the scale of 1 to 10 of strengths on somewhere at, let's say, 4 or 5. A lot many of you feel that just because you are at on 9 when it comes to painting or sketching, that is the only strength you have. That, my friends, is the reason why you are not feeling satisfied in your life. That is the reason why you are not able to reach the self actualization stage in your life. Because until and unless you also start utilizing and bringing out those latent capacities of cooking or dancing or singing or any other side passion that you have within you, even if you are not excellent at that, even if you are not very strong at that, but you have a capacity to work on that skill as well. Trust me, in the long run, they will take you ahead. They will take you much further in life, and they will transform your life. There was a time, trust me, I'm not lying on this, but there was a time when I was the introverted kid in my classroom. I did not even speak much with my own teachers, let alone the students around me, because I was so much scared of even interacting with anyone in general. I used to get scared when a teacher used to ask any question, let alone deliver motivational talks or speeches like I'm doing right now. So how did I come from that point in my life, just I would say a couple of years ago, to this point here when I am working professionally as an international youth mentor and a public speaker, and have delivered 4 international TED Talks all at the age of 18. I'm able to do that because I realized that I do have the latent capacity and the latent potential of reaching out to people and impacting the minds of the people with my words. And when I realized that, I did not burden myself with the old anxieties or old, we can say, forces of stress which I had on my mind, thinking that I'm not good at public speaking or thinking that I'm not good at interacting with others because I am this introverted kid. I decided that I am going to break all those societal norms, break all those barricades which I have created around my own self, and I will transform myself with the latent capacities and latent potentials within my own self. That is what you have to do as well. You have to look at your own depths. You have to look at the latent capacities, the latent potentials, the latent strengths that you have within your own self. And even if you feel that you are not excellent at something, if you feel that you have the possibility of working on it and making it better for your own life, trust me, friends, you should try it. Whether it is just about planting a small plant in your garden that will make you feel better, or it is about, let's say, recording a song which you have been humming in your own mind since a very long time, do it. Trust me, in the long run, even if it does not show very great fruits of success, at least you will feel satisfied that you did try enough. You did not give up on your latent dreams. You did not give up on those hidden ideas and, we can say, potentials which you had within your own self at one point in your life. So whatever you feel passionate about, do it. Whether you are able to succeed in it or not, that is something that only future will tell. But for now, you just need to get up, get going, and get your passions alive. That is what I would like to suggest all of our viewers here, and that is all I would like to request to all of our viewers as well.
That's all I'm gonna do.
Thank you so much.
So you see, you didn't just speak to the youth, you spoke to me too. You know, so I just want
that
you to
really
know
means
that
a lot.
you are such a fireball, and I wish you all the best. And we will connect again, and hopefully we're going to turn your book to a movie.
Thank you. That would be a dream come true, I must say.
Wow. We'll see. I'm not promising anything, but I love it. So we're going to look for resources and see what we can do. But thank you so much for your time today. Truly, truly appreciate
Thank you so much.
With us. So guys, you heard the young man say, get up, get out, do it, and the future will tell if you become successful. So don't sit down and say, I don't know what to do anymore. Yash said, get up, get out, go do it. So thank you so much. You have a wonderful rest of your day. And you're very
Thank you so much.
to our platform. Anytime that you want to come back, let us know and we will bring you right back again. You have a good day.
I will be more than happy to. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Make sure my book is on the way coming to me before the next.
Definitely, definitely.
All right.
Surely,
You
for
take care.
sure.
Bye. Oh my goodness, what a fireball that kid is. Like, wow, super, super exciting, achieving, great guy, great young man at 16. He wrote a book that became super successful and he never stopped, since then. So please, guys, go back. I'm going to post the link of where you can purchase his book right under our video, our broadcast. Please support him, purchase that book. There's great information there. The moment I receive my copy, I would bring it back on air to show you guys. And this guy has a lot in him that he wants to get out in the near future. I just forgot to ask him to tell us about his plans for the future, but I can tell that you all know that this guy is not stopping anytime soon. So the least you can do is please support him and let us, build our young people up. Yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for joining the Queen Amina Show. Please share this broadcast. It's going to help another young person that would see a fellow young man like Yash speaking with much passion and telling about the story of how he achieved all of these things. It's going to bless somebody else out there. So share the broadcast on your platform to support the Queen Amina Show and Yash Tiwari. See you guys all tomorrow. Who is our guest tomorrow? Guess who is coming back to us tomorrow? The youngest ambassador, youngest United Nations ambassador in the world, the youngest at 14. He's a United Nations ambassador. We brought him to the show the last time, and because of network, we couldn't hear Ankar sing, speak. So finally, he's gotten a better place. He's going to come. You think Yash is fireball? Wait until you hear Ankar tomorrow. So he's going to be sitting with us, and we're going to be chatting with him also about his book. So, and then our Motivational Monday is going to be starting very, very soon. So you guys all look out for that. We have TJ Jaboro, a film producer right here in Toronto, Canada, that is taking his act into blessing so many other actors in Toronto, Black actors in Toronto. So we're going to be meeting him on Friday, and he'll be telling us the platform that he's created to help bring young actors and actresses up here in Canada. And then on Saturday, we're going to have Paul Bourget that will be speaking about trafficking, girls trafficking in Canada. Yes, it does exist. Prostitution exists right here in Canada, right in your backyard. And we're going to be talking about that and how we can help these young people get out of prostitution. So that is going to be very close to my heart. On Sunday, we're going to have 2 bullets. We're going to have a pastor that will sit down to answer biblical questions. And right after that, we have a true life testimony of cancer survivor. So don't miss out any of these programs. Until tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Queen Amina Show, Facebook and YouTube. Enjoy your day, and please keep watching the Queen Amina Show.